A Cardano news update to round out your week in the Cardano ecosystem. And of course, the biggest news story is the Cardano hard fork. The Chang hard fork will bring Cardano into the Conway era and bring governance to the ecosystem. We have a look at a couple of updates around that. We have news about the Ledger Nano S, some good news in that matter. And we also have a look at potential Plutus V3 dApps that are building for this particular era as well. We have a lot of new tech that's coming with this particular hard fork, and dApps are adapting to it now already. I also look at the TON outage earlier this week and whether or not that could happen to us here in Cardano. All that coming right up. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Learn Cardano podcast. I'm Peter Buey. If this is your first time here, consider hitting that thumbs up, hit that subscribe notification bell. I will keep you up to date with everything that's happening in the Cardano ecosystem. And let's get into those news updates for this episode. And of course, the biggest one is the Chang hard fork, 1st of September at 9:45 p.m. UTC. We will see that hard fork switch over and we'll go into this particular era. The Genesis keys that were originally used to create the Cardano blockchain will become obsolete. They won't be able to use them, and we won't be able to withdraw any funds from the Cardano Treasury for Catalyst or anything else for that matter. And we will rely on moving forward with the brand new structure that is being set up. And Lloyd here put out this brilliant video from GM Cardano. This is Governance Matters Cardano, just happens to be GM as well. He goes through the structure, what it would look like, and what the governance will look like for the Cardano ecosystem. It's a 4.5 minute video. Highly encourage you guys all watch that so you have a really good understanding of what's going to happen, and also give them a follow on X as well, and you'll be kept up to date with everything around the governance side of things. Lloyd is very big on the governance side, is in all the special interest working groups and working groups for Intersect, so he's definitely highly involved within Intersect at the moment. Now, this is a really good news post from Ledger, and the team from Ledger have been working on upgrading the Ledger app so that it will work for Cardano governance. And for a long time, the Ledger Nano S was not going to be supported. The Ledger Nano, this is the Ledger Nano. I've got one of these devices here. This is super old now. This is back in 2017 when I got that one. So I've upgraded since, but if you have one of those and you've been using it, it has a very limited amount of space on there. And because of that, they couldn't install the updated app. Now, they worked out a bug, and there was a bug here. Let me have a look here. What did they do to fix the Ledger S? Wasn't it a space issue? And at Ada says, it was a strange bug with asserts. Actually, a pretty small change in the end, but it freed up so much space that the full app on the Nano S Plus only needs 104 kilobytes. So the chance is very high that we can bring back full function to the Nano S with one of the next releases, not app splitting in the future. So that is absolutely brilliant. So that means we can use the Ledger Nano S with everything in the governance era. So I'm super happy with that because I will be able to use that device if I need to. So that's really cool. And I know a lot of people have been asking about this as well in the comments section of my videos, what they need to do about it. But with this particular update, we're all ready to go. This is really, really good. So I have another video coming out later today that I'm recording that will go through the upgrade process of this Ledger Nano S, this particular one here, so that you can follow along. So if you want to upgrade your device, you can, and then you're ready for the Conway era as well. Okay, cool, awesome. Now, this post came out from Sheldon, and Sheldon is the head of Cardano ecosystems with Emurgo, and he has been working with the team there for I believe about 3 months now when I had my first call with him. And the Emurgo team have been under a lot of pressure at the moment and criticism from the Cardano community saying, what are you guys doing? Are you even doing anything? You have millions of ADA and you're supposed to be looking after the commercial side of things, but what are you doing exactly? It seems like you're not doing anything at all. This post here is brilliant because it details everything that they have been working on over the past few months. And let me just go over the dot points here for you so you have a bit of an understanding. So they've been working on the stablecoin USDA. They've been making friends with centralized exchanges such as BitGet, Gate.io, and GSR. They've been working on a brand new Cardano business development unit. They're working on strategic ecosystem incubation partners like Huawei and how do you even say this? Trireme Trading. They've been working on a campaign to make Yoroi great again. They've been doing a lot of development there. They've got new on-ramps, off-ramps, and everything around it. So Yoroi is getting better every single day. They've been supporting their friends at DDM Network and Sky Protocol. I had no idea they were actually involved within those particular launches, but DDM and Sky Protocol are looking really, really cool. So if you haven't checked out videos I've done, I'll put links down below for you guys. They've been working with meme coins even, Sneck, Friend Ada, and Charles Huskins. They've been working on, I don't know in what capacity, but they've been helping the teams out there. They've been continuing their work with Emurgo Africa and Adaverse. So all the projects that they've gone through the incubator there, they're still working on and pushing for as well. They've also been knocking on doors of VCs and spreading the word about Cardano and its benefits overall. So it's good to see that someone is pushing the barrier for VC conversations. They've been taking steps with Web3 gaming with partners like Beamable, which is great. They've been working on a Emurgo education course for Aiken. They've been working on improving interoperability and partner chains with Nodo and Particia, which is absolutely awesome. I think interoperability is absolutely key at the moment for Cardano. They've also funded dancing classes for Patrick at Endmaker. I'm assuming it's more funding for Endmaker in general. The Endmaker are doing some cool stuff overall. They got DAOs legalized and deployed in a real way in Japan with Clarity DAO. That is big. That's amazing. They supported various events such as Rare Evo, that Token 2049, and also GM Vietnam. So that's their reach here in Asia, which is absolutely amazing. They've worked with the Cardano Berlin Hackathon and other events, WebEx Asia and Aikido, and got a brand new members-based organization for Cardano operational. So I knew someone bankrolled Intersect. They were spending a huge amount of money. I thought it came from Charles himself, but it seems a lot of the funding came from Emurgo to get this all done. They've been helping host Cardano constitutional workshops globally. They've been rocking cool educational content for governance era and so on and so on. So they have been doing a lot of things. Now, a lot of people do criticize Emurgo, but they do a lot of work. And I think where they're lacking is in their communications. But with these recent new hires that they've done recently, including Sheldon, who is deeply involved in the Cardano community himself, I think it will really help with a lot of that communication, getting the word out there about what they're doing. Hopefully we see more X spaces, more interviews and everything else around it to get that word out about the impact of what Emurgo are doing there. So that's absolutely awesome to see. So if you want to follow and learn more about Emurgo's impact, what they're doing, follow Sheldon. Links down below for you guys. Now, I do these videos on a regular basis to keep you guys up to date with everything that's happening. I do all these interviews and I don't get paid for any of this. All my revenue primarily comes from the YouTube ads and sale of NFTs. So if you want to support the channel, you can become a channel member. You can have a look here. These are all my fantastic channel members at the moment. You can subscribe if you have the means to do so. And it's just the price of a cup of coffee. So I've kept it as low as possible. So if you do have the means, if you do want to support, you can do so that way. And it keeps me going, keeps me motivated, and keeps me producing these videos for you guys. If you can't afford that, that's totally fine. You don't need to. Don't feel guilty that you can't. But if you can, at least hit that like and subscribe button. It helps with the algorithm and it helps me get these videos out there for the community. Now with that out of the way, let's get back to it. Now with the Chang hard fork, we have some technical aspects from it. I've covered this in previous videos, links down below for you guys, but there are technical aspects, new primitives that are coming out with Plutus V3. And one DEX that is pioneering and pushing the envelope with what is being developed and built on Cardano is VyFinance. And they have an X space coming up 12 p.m. UTC on the 2nd of September that goes through what they've been building, with Plutus V3. This is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of speed optimizations. There's a lot of new primitives that bring in interoperability and cross-chain partner chains, all that stuff. So I'm really excited to see what these guys are building. But this here will go through what they're doing with Plutus V3. So I'm pretty excited to hear what Steven and the team have to offer there. So please do tune into that one. I'll do a follow-up update. So once I know what they're talking about here, I'll give you guys a summary as well. But if you want to learn more about what Plutus V3 has to offer, this awesome article that came out earlier this year by Olga from IOHK. Olga's been with IOHK for a very long time now. I've been reading her articles for quite a while. But it goes through all the advanced Plutus primitives, the better developer ecosystem overall. Let me just zoom in for you guys so you can see this better on the screen. Now, if you want to learn more about it, I will put the links down below to this article here, and I'll put a link to the video where I go through everything, all the technical aspects that are coming with the Chang hard fork. So do check out that video. It will go through in detail everything that you need to know about that. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos and this one, the Cardano Treasury will be locked because the Genesis keys are being become obsolete. They won't be burnt, I believe, at this stage, but they'll be completely obsolete because the protocol has upgraded and they can't be used anymore. And that, I thought, meant that Fund 13 of Project Catalyst, the community funding rounds, would not go ahead. But they were smart. They thought about this. They withdrew this back in Epoch 495, 496. Let me get the date here. Around the 9th of August, so a little bit earlier than that. And this was all for one half of Fund 12 and the other for Fund 13. So 5 million for each one of those rounds. So they thought ahead and withdrew some funding out for this so they can keep things going. So I'm excited to hear that. It's good to know. Fund 13 could still go ahead in maybe December. I know we're wrapping things up for Fund 12 at the moment. They're still going through due diligence and the transaction testing at the moment before the funding and milestones can actually go ahead. So maybe by mid-September, we'll reach that milestone and then we can start looking October, November for Fund 13. More proposals can go out and then projects can get more funding that way. So Fund 13 can go ahead without the need for more withdrawals from the Treasury itself. So that's really good to hear. I think everyone will be happy to hear that. Now, Keystone is an absolutely awesome hardware wallet, completely air-gapped. It's one of those wallets that scans QR codes to transmit that transaction. But at the moment, they're looking for an ambassador. So if you are in the Cardano ecosystem, if you know exactly how Cardano works, you're a strong believer and have an understanding of Cardano's potential, you're savvy with hardware wallets, you're active on Twitter or within the Cardano community, and you're passionate about strengthening our presence, that's Keystone's presence, and connecting deeply with fellow Cardano enthusiasts, contact the Keystone team here. I absolutely love their product and they make really, really good stuff here. I did an interview with the Keystone team a little bit earlier this year. I'll put a link down below so you can learn a bit more about their product, but it's completely open source. The hardware, the firmware, the software, the whole thing. This is what it looks like here. That's the Keystone Pro 3 Pro. It's got a fingerprint scanner. It's got a little camera on there. It's a touchscreen device. It's absolutely awesome. It's way better, I think, than one of these Ledger devices here. So do check it out. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And if you want to become an ambassador for the project, for the Cardano side of things, reach out to them. I think they'll love to hear from you. Now, this is a brand new project has come on my radar. I've been trying to work out what they're doing here. And finally, they put out a video. Sync AI are doing something really, really cool and innovative in regards to bringing in the AI side, the ease of use of AI to crypto and DeFi. So you can type in a prompt, say, I want to trade my ADA for the next Deepin project. You can type in the prompt and then it will construct it for you, a dApp that you can connect to and do that particular trade. I think this is absolutely crazy. I hope it works out really well, but let me just play this clip for you here that will give you a little summary of how it all works.
You just need to go to the Sync app and connect your wallet. And once your wallet is connected, express whatever you want. Let's take swapping for example. Hey, can you swap my 10 ADA to Eigen? And enter. the network will build the transaction for you, and you just need to sign it inside your wallet. And once you sign it, it will be submitted to the Cardano blockchain, and voila, it's done. You can see the Cardano transaction hash here on Cardano scan with the amount, and the tokens will be sent back to your wallet address. Let's try one more example. Sell my 10 new Vola tokens to Ada, and again the transaction will be built for your query, and you just need to sign it. And you can see these are the new Vola tokens, and once you sign it, the transaction will be submitted again, and boom, it's done instantaneously.
So isn't that crazy? I absolutely love it. If you want to watch the whole thing again, I'll put a link down below. Do follow Sync AI and what they're doing. It's absolutely amazing, the blending of tech that they're doing here. Now, this is my last news story here, and this is around TON and the downtime they had. They were down for about 7 hours. Now, from what I could read and gather from all these tweets out there, it went down twice. Once because of a kernel bug on the operating system that they use, and the other was because of that dog meme coin that launched. So the two things that happened at the same time caused a really long period of outage. But one of the big things was that the conversation around TON being really centralized, because they managed to coordinate a restart of the blockchain, and that restart allowed them to continue to operate. And with blockchain, if it's really decentralized, you wouldn't be able to coordinate a restart like this. But we have a look at this particular post here from Synth Lover, and there are some metrics and data around the nodes and validators for TON. And at the time of the downtime, they had 357 node validators. Now, during my research for this video, I did check the validator count, and it was down by 200 validators. So that's a massive amount. So I think over 200 validators were struggling to get their nodes back up and running. So there are a lot of validators, and I can't say it's highly centralized. They do have a big set there. In comparison, the Cardano ecosystem has over 3,000 stake pools or validators. So that's a lot more, but not all of them mint blocks. So a lot of them don't mint blocks, and they're there and just part of the network. Now, could this ever happen to Cardano though? Could something drastically happen and the node that we operate and run completely fail on us, and as a result bring down the Cardano network? Maybe it could happen if a particular node release goes out there and a lot of the node operators adopt it and run it. That particular node version could cause a section of the validating network to not function properly. And I have seen this happen before when a particular node goes out and is released, and those particular pools have some operational issues. And I can't remember what node version it was, but I do recall that happening. And from that point, I stopped upgrading my node version as soon as something was released. So I would wait for my own stake pool to see if there were any bugs in that particular node release, and then upgrade maybe a week afterwards. So that allowed for a little bit more time in a live environment to see if anything happened. Now, the other issue here that I'd like to bring up is that there isn't a diverse set of different types of nodes within the Cardano ecosystem. Now, I don't mean the hardware or where things are distributed. That is already in existence. The Cardano nodes are all over the place, using all sorts of different hardware, from bare metal hardware, which is like a computer here right next to me, all the way to cloud infrastructure. So there's a lot of different diversity in that. But what isn't diverse is the node software itself. There is only that main Haskell node that is written and basically everyone uses, but there isn't a diverse language base of nodes such as Go or Boris, which is still in its infancy, or Amora, which is the Rust-based version of it. So we've got one that's written in Haskell, one that is written in Rust, which is Amaru, and then we have the Go implementation, Go or Boris. So we do need that diversity in those different nodes and more people building and working on those aspects as well. So if you ever see one of the projects out there, like this one, Amaru is supported by the Cardano Foundation. It's one of those projects that they're helping incubate. And then the Go Ouroboros team by Blink Labs. That one, if you ever see any proposals around that, Treasury withdrawals, Catalyst funding proposals, whatever it is, please support them. Please vote for those particular proposals, because this helps the diversification and decentralization of the Cardano nodes, so that stuff like TON going down because of a kernel bug won't happen to us. The more diversity that we have in that particular software, the more decentralized we are as an ecosystem. So this is all very important. So that's all I have for this particular Cardano news update. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. And if you enjoyed it, please consider giving me that thumbs up, hit subscribe, click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you in the next video.